Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Verses from Sri Ramana Jayanthi by Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni. Vande Sri Ramanarshiracharyasya Padabjam Yo me darshayadisham bhantam dhvantamatitya Khataya nijaya kalusham harata Karuna nidhinaruna shailajusha Khagavahana bhashita tattvavida Vrishavahana narahasya bhrita Ganaran mukhasuri sabha guruna Gunasanchaya ratna mahodadhina Ghanagura sahasrakarena yatha Tanukanchaka gupta mahamahasa Chaturena chalendriya nigrahane Patuna parakiya guna grahane Chalavarjita mona samadhijusha Balatarjita bhikara kamarusha Chataram samaye paripurayata Katinam vritamadritate charata Chashaketana shasta durapahrada Krishimatma vibhoda vidhoda dhata Bhavabhikarawarinidhim tarata Karata manasena supatravata Swadrishadhika shitalakanti bhrita Bhayamangri saroja jusham harata Namatamati bhakti matam nidhina Ghanatapa vidhunana sannidhina Yati dharmatatim paripalayata Paritascha tamo vinivarayata Paninayaka varnya gunogha bhrita Bhaniti priya satya hita bhanata Pahumanava shadayata sukhitam Avamanatatera vidhunavata Yatinam adipena kushagralasan Matina dhritina shitachitta bhuva Laharim pramadasya sadavahata Nihatantara shatrava sanhatina Bhagavat padamanya jana sulabham Swaguneradhigatya param jayata Mamatara hitena hitena satam Nihitena ghana prabhuna hridaye Dharani dharajankam jata Dharani talavasitamo dhutaye Naravesha bhrita nagarandhra krita Ramanena sanatham idam bhuvanam Paradeshineva dhavalena vasasaha Shakalena veshtitakati vishobhina Varadeshikena naravesha dharina Shikivahanena gurumajjagad bhavet Atita gunajalaya neishtika brahmacharine Namo maya manushyaya gurave tarakaraye Yanaya trinikekinam kulapati snanayana swarnadi Panaya kshati brinmahendra duhiturna dugdhamritam Ganaya pramatheshwara savayaso nevatra vina bhrato Vasam shaunagiro karosi Bhagavan Krauncha dribheda kutaha Ekam vaktrumumanga vasa viraha pano na shakya yudham Martyatvam na patakini cha pratana parshvatvayena kinam Vesholam punaresha mugdhanayana prachadane bhujusham Antardhanumupaishitara karipo Kvastanyadaya tataha Kechad yoga vidam purasara iti prajnani buddhya pare Sadhu kaschiditi tare gurudhiya kepyangri padmam tava Sevante ramanabhidana manujakshemaya jatakshito Dvitrastvam girijanga pitanalayam jananti devam guham ओंकारार्थमुपादिशो भगवते वाणी मनोहारिणे तातायाप्युपदेष्टमुद्यतमभूत् किञ्चिद्वधीयं मुखम् चेष्ट्यस्याद्य सहोदरस्य गुरुतां प्राप्तोऽसि धीगौरवात् सुब्रह्मण्यकनिष्ठतामभिगतः सर्वाधिकः त्वं गुणैः यत्पूर्वं श्रुतिपारदर्शदिशनो द्वैपायनोऽध्यारुहत पश्चाद्बोधकलाविधूतितिमिरः शङ्कापहः शङ्करः तत्सम्प्रत्यखिलावनीतलजुषाम् आचार्यसिंहासनम् देवत्वां प्रतिवीक्षते नरतनो गिर्वाणसेनापतेः धर्मेणासुमुपागते त्रिभुवने पर्याकुले पापतः प्रज्ञाने परितो गिरां पतिमुधा सञ्चार्यमाने जनैः सद्भावे परमेश्वरस्य च पितुः सन्देहडोलां गते द्विपक्यैतवमर्त्यके कितुरगत्वामन्तरा कः सताम् वैराग्यं तमवित्तमस्तु करुणां शक्नोषि हातुं कथम् द्युष्यस्तेस्तु समुद्यमः पितृपदध्यानं च किं तादृशम् कामस्तेस्तु विगर्हितो विनमतां रक्षाच्च किं गर्हिता स्कन्दच्छद्ममनुष्य किं नु समयं कञ्चित् समुद्वीक्षसे दूरं याहि कुवादधर्मवृषते नेतः परं पङ्गुता दुर्भ्रान्ते भुवनं जहीहि परितो वरदस्व संसत्सताम् सौदर्येण समन्वितो भुवमिमां प्राप्तो गुरुग्रामणीः शूरान्तापुरनेतविभ्रमहरो देवो भवानीसुतः जन्मस्थानमवाप्य गुप्तमहमो यो भेदमाधूतवान् भूतानां चरतां पृथग्वदधियामात्मेव यो भासते देहं सर्वमिदं जगच्च विभवाद् आक्रम्य यः प्रोलसत् एकस्त्वं गुरुमूर्तिमानमतरे लम्बोदरभ्रातरम् अन्तर्यश्च बहिर्विधूततिमिरं ज्योतिर्मयं शाश्वतम् स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमतामज्ञानमुन्मूलयन् पश्यन् विश्वमपीदमुल्लसति यो विश्वस्य पारे परः तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. I'm sitting in the Mandiram of the Nova Scotia Ashram. The author of this song, the Dawn Chant, Satya Mangalam Sri Venkataramaya, came to Bhagavan at Virupaksha Cave about 1910. This is one of the earliest hymns of praise of Sri Bhagavan. Even though the author was standing near Bhagavan's bodily form, he realized that Sri Bhagavan was not the body. As we celebrate this Jayanti today, I know we are doing the same. It is said that this little-known author danced around Bhagavan in rapture as he performed the songs. And after his 5-day stay, writing a poem each day, he was not seen again. This is the first poem, the Dawn Chant. The light is dawning on Aruna Hill. Sweet Ramana, come. Lord Arunanchala, come. In the bush, the call sings. Dear Master Ramana, come. Lord of knowledge, come. The conch blows, the stars are dim. Sweet Ramana, come. Lord God of gods, come. The cocks crow, the birds chirp. It is already time. Come. The dark night has fled. Come. The trumpets blow, the drums beat. Gold bright Ramana, come. Knowledge awakened, come. The crows caw, it is morning. Snake-decked Lord, come. blue-throated Lord, come. Ignorance has fled, the lotus is open. Wise Lord Ramana, come. Crown of the Vedas, come. Untainted by qualities, Lord of liberation, benevolent Ramana, come. Lord of peace, come. Sage and Lord, one with being, knowledge, bliss. Lord, dancing in joy, come. Lord, incarnate on the pinnacle of knowledge, beyond pleasure and pain, come. Blissful silence, come. Namaskar.
திருச்சுழிநாதனே ரமண சத்குரு திருச்சுழிநாதனே ரமண சத்குரு விரூபாக்ஷவாசனே ரமண சத்குரு விரூபாக்ஷவாசனே ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு திருச்சுழிநாதனே ரமண சத்குரு திருச்சுழிநாதனே ரமண சத்குரு கௌபீன வசனா ரமண சத்குரு கௌபீன வசனா ரமண சத்குரு கருண சமுத்ரனே ரமண சத்குரு கருண சமுத்ரனே ரமண சத்குரு கௌபீன வசனா ரமண சத்குரு கௌபீன வசனா ரமண சத்குரு கருணா சமுத்ரனே ரமண சத்குரு கருணா சமுத்ரனே ரமண சத்குரு ஓம்கார ஸ்வரூபனே ரமண சத்குரு ஓம்கார ஸ்வரூபனே ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு திருச்சுழிநாதனே ரமண சத்குரு திருச்சுழிநாதனே ரமண சத்குரு चिदानंद रूपने रमण सद्गुरु चिदानंद रूपने रमण सद्गुरु दक्षिणामूर्ति रूप रमण सद्गुरु दक्षिणामूर्ति रूप रमण सद्गुरु चिदानंद रूपने रमण सद्गुरु चिदानंद रूपने रमण सद्गुरु दक्षिणामूर्ति रूप रमण सद्गुरु दक्षिणामूर्ति रूप रमण सद्गुरु मौन तत्व बोधकने रमण सद्गुरु मौन तत्व बोधकने रमण सद्गुरु रमण सद्गुरु रमण सद्गुरु रमण सद्गुरु रमण सद्गुरु திருச்சுழிநாதனே ரமண சத்குரு திருச்சுழிநாதனே ரமண சத்குரு விரூபாக்ஷவாசனே ரமண சத்குரு விரூபாக்ஷவாசனே ரமண சத்குரு Ramana Sadguru, 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 Ramana Sadguru.
Om Ramana, Om Ramana, Om Ramana, Om Ramana, Upanishad Vandya, Om Ramana, Upanishad Vandya, Om Ramana, Udara Leela, Om Ramana, Udara Leela, Om Ramana, Uttama Purusha, Om Ramana, Uttama Purusha, Om Ramana, Sri Ramarchita, Om Ramana, Sri Ramarchita, Om Ramana, Sri Ramarchita, Om Ramana, Sri Ramarchita, Om Ramana, Vararamana, 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 Varada Bhayakara, Vararamana, Varada Bhayakara, Vararamana, Vanchita Bhalata, Vararamana, Vanchita Bhalata, Vararamana, Vachamagochara, Vararamana, Vachamagochara, Vararamana, Sri Ramarchita, Vararamana, Sri Ramarchita, Vararamana, Sri Ramarchita, Vararamana, Sri Ramarchita, Vararamana, Nidhi Ramana, Nidhi Ramana, Nidhi Ramana, Nidhi Ramana, Nischala Tattva, Nidhi Ramana, Nischala Tattva, Nidhi Ramana, Nitya Mahotsava, Nidhi Ramana, Nitya Mahotsava, Nidhi Ramana, Nirupama Shubha Guna, Nidhi Ramana, Nirupama Shubha Guna, Nidhi Ramana, Sri Ramarchita, Nidhi Ramana, Sri Ramarchita, Nidhi Ramana, Sri Ramarchita, Nidhi Ramana, Sri Ramarchita, Nidhi Ramana, Jaya Ramana, Jaya Ramana, Jaya Ramana, Jaya Ramana, Jaya Varaprada, Jaya Ramana, Jaya Varaprada, Jaya Ramana, Jagadodhara, Jaya Ramana, Jagadodhara, Jaya Ramana, Jivan Mukta, Jaya Ramana, Jivan Mukta, Jaya Ramana, Sri Ramarchita, 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 Jaya Ramana.
Greetings from Sri Ramanachalam Mandir in Ogdensburg, New York, on the banks of the beautiful St. Lawrence River. I'm going to be reading a memoir of the founder of Arunachala Ashram, Arunachala Bhakta Bhagavat, and it's entitled Gifts from a Friend. Just over 20 years ago, on April 10th, 2000, the founder of Arunachala Ashram, Arunachala Bhakta Bhagavat, merged in the bliss of Arunachala Ramana and became free from the bondage of human existence. Though no longer among us, I do not believe he can ever be far in thought from those of us who were privileged to know such a unique soul during the formative years of young adult life. I think if any of us who knew Bhagavat well were asked what first comes to mind on thinking of him, the word would have to be friend. Friendship was Bhagavat's first and last gift. There was no time of day that Bhagavat would not run to the aid of a friend, and he would spare no amount of time or energy to offer consolation, encouragement, and good cheer. The atmosphere of friendship in the ashram was one in which Bhagavat, in his unique, humble, and often humorous way, conveyed to us the gifts of his wisdom and the wisdom of Bhagavan. First and foremost, Bhagavat taught us about abhyas, spiritual practice. He would compare spiritual practice to digging ditches, saying it must be done with the same discipline and determination and must be given the top priority in our lives. The regular nightly practice that began at 7 p.m., that combined recitations and Sanskrit chants, followed by a period of silence and a reading from Sri Bhagavan's teachings, was the cauldron in which we one-pointedly sought, time and again, to take the mind to its source and abide there. After the silence, Sri Bhagavan's words would enter and take deep root in our hearts. There is no doubt that the cumulative effect of our regular and repeated practice was such that on uttering the very first syllables of the evening recitation, we would be carried deep within. Early mornings became time for the sweet and sublime recitation of Sri Lalita Sahasranam, followed by silence and once again contemplation of a reading from Sri Bhagavan's words. One cannot overestimate the power of this litany to still the mind and diminish one's sense of doership in the following hours of the day. Thus, the translation of ideas on meditation from theory to intense one-pointed practice and direct experience, what would, I would have to say, be the primary priceless gift offered us by Bhagavat's influence. It was he who sat and showed us how to chant and to follow the sound of a mantra to the heart center, how to still the mind, how to practice self-inquiry. It was he who created the setting in which the patient daily practice would bring about the flowering of peace, of abidance in the self. The setting was a tiny storefront meditation center on East 6th Street in Manhattan that contained the universe. It always amazed me how Bhagavat seemed to have whatever quote of Sri Bhagavan that was needed or appropriate on the tip of his tongue. In addition, he had many homely wisdom stories from Indian village life in his repertoire. Bhagavat also had some classic sayings of his own that he repeated so often, and all of these stories and sayings became engraved in the hearts of us all. At the time, we used to joke that we could just recall them by number and dispense with their narration, having heard them so often. In reality, though, they became such a part of us that they continue to guide all of our decisions in matters great and small to the present day. Bhagavat used to humorously call himself the doorman and doormat of Sri Arunachala Ashram. He placed great emphasis on the personal touch, and he wanted all people to be greeted with a warm welcome. His typical telephone greeting was an exuberant Sri Arunachala Ashram, Namaskar, Namaskar, Namaskar. Now that the communities dedicated to Sri Bhagavan and his teaching have so grown in size, scope, and outreach, I think that the personal touch emphasized by Bhagavat is today even more important than ever. Among the personal qualities to be desired in a devotee, Bhagavat valued and esteemed an open heart over and above any other qualification. Coffee, company, and conversation were his gold standard, and he would typically ask, "Can you have 5 minutes of C and C with the person?" Bhagavat also believed in the importance of work, and he eschewed distinctions between the sacred and the secular. In this connection, he was fond of proclaiming his love of 4-letter words, and he had a whole list that he would reel off with relish to demonstrate his point. In fact, hard work were 2 of his favorite 4-letter words, along with pray, P-R-A-Y, soup, S-O-U-P, and a host of others that he would gleefully count off on his fingers. One of my own first perception shifts on meeting Bhagavat was when I discovered that I had ceased to think of God as something to be believed in or not. The concept had become transformed into reality. Bhagavat used to say that though penniless, he could pay lavish tribute with his words, which were free, and in reality, countless pages of prayer manuscript that he wrote day after day demonstrate this. Seated at his beloved Hermes 3000 typewriter, Bhagavat would pour forth his devotion to Bhagavan Sri Ramana Arunachala in words, or simply sit at the keys in silence. This was a practice that he would cherish from the earliest hours of the morning. Today, when one reads even a page of this prayer manuscript, one can have a glimpse of his state of mind and the extraordinary flow of grace that Bhagavan Ramana had bestowed upon him. Bhagavat intended his writings as a gift to his friends, and indeed, they most certainly are. Hence, it is appropriate that now, coming up on 21 years after his passing, and almost 50 years after first meeting our most unforgettable friend, that we pay tribute to him in our own most meager words. I can imagine Bhagavat in a heaven of friends, seated at his beloved Hermes 3000 in the clouds, telling stories from his Indian village, singing the songs of Tulsidas, and eating celestial mangoes. But truthfully, one need not think at all, for the primary and most precious gift of our beloved founder to us was the gift of silence.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namaskar. In Sri Bhagavan's grace at his feet, we offer our Manasa Shodasa Upacharam with slokas on Sri Bhagavan, verses from Shruti, Smriti and Puranam. We start with invocation from Chatvarimsad, followed by two Dhyana slokas by Vishwanatha Swami, followed by a verse from Moha Mudgaram, which is Bhajagovindam, Arunachala Mahatmyam in Skanda Puranam, quoted by Sri Bhagavan in his talk 473, a Shatasloki sloka on how an Advaitin lives this life, followed by the beautiful Bhuma Vidya sloka from Chandogya Upanishad in Sanat Kumara Narada Samvadam, quoted by Sri Bhagavan in his talk 68. A Viveka Chudamani sloka, two verses from Isavasya Upanishad on Aham Brahmasmi Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Two beautiful verses from Mundaka Upanishad that resonate Sri Bhagavan's Arunachala Pancharatnam verses 3 and 5, followed by Sri Bhagavan's Ekamakshara slokam And we will conclude with the last 3 verses from Chatvarimsat. Vande Sri Ramana Risheracharya Badhabjam Yo me darshayadisham bhantam dvantam aditya Apara Satchit Sukhavari Rasehe Yashyormi Matram Bhuvanam Samastam Guhahitam Tam Ramanam Ghabiram Chinta Vihinam Hridi Chintayami Om Yastanor Arunachalasya Patayoh Smritya Janim Prapyada Divyanugraha Supravaha Vivasas Tadatmya Bhavam Gada Grinishtasva Ghabira Nitya Tapasa Lokan Punasyekarad Tasmai Sri Ramanaya Te Namaidam Logottara Jyotishe Om Satsangatve Nisangatvam Nisangatve Nirmohatvam Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti Darshanada Prasadasa Jananat Kamalalaye Kashyantu Maranan Mukti Smaranat Arunachale Smaranat Arunachale Atmam bodestarangosmyahamidi Gamane Bhavayannasanastah Samvit Sutrano Viddo Manirahamidi Vasmi Indriyartha Pradhido Drashtosmi Atmavalogadidi Sayana Vidau Magnahananda Sindho Andarnishto Mumukshuhu Sakalu Dhanumrutam Yonayatyeva Mayuhu Hari Hari Yatra Nanyat Pashyati Nanyat Shrunoti Nanyat Vijanati Sabhuma Yo Vai Bhuma Bhuma Tatsukham Sabhuma Yo Vai Bhuma Bhuma Tatsukham Durlabam Trayame Vaidat Devanugraha Hetukam Manushyatvam Mumukshutvam Mahapurusha Samshrayah Manushyatvam Mumukshutvam Mahapurusha Samshrayah Sadashivom Hiranmayena Patrena Satyasya Bihitam Mukham Tatvam Pushan Abhavruno Satyadharmaya Drishtaye Pushanne Karshe Yamasurya Prajabatya Vyuharashmin Samuha Tejo Yatte Rupam Kalyanadamam Datte Pashyami Yosavasau Purushaha Sohamasmi 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 Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamyeva Avasishyate Om Yada Nadyasyandamana Samudre Astam Gacchandi Namarupe Vihaya तदा विद्वान् नामरूपात् विमुक्तये परात् परं पुरुषम् उपैति दिव्यं स योह वै तत् परमं ब्रह्मवेद ब्रह्मैव भवति न अस्य अब्रह्मवित् कुले भवति तरदि सोगं तरदि पाप्मानं गुहाग्रन्थिभ्यो विमुक्तो अमृतो भवति। ॐ एकमक्षरं हृदि निरन्तरं भासते स्वयं लिख्यते कथम् तद्भागधेयमसमागमने गमो निवासार्चितं स्थितप्रदुःखलु लोहितस्य अङ्गीचकार भगवान् रमणो महर्षिरन्येषु सत्सु यदिमं बहुषु स्थलेषु शान्तिर्निदान्तमधिहा परमास्य शक्तिः वैराग्यमत्पुदतमं करुणाधुसान्त्रा ज्ञानं निरस्तगुहनं मधुरं च वृद्धं नृणां निदर्शनमयं रमणो महर्षिः नारसिंहिर्गणपतिर्वासिष्ठो रमणं गुरुं चत्वारिंशन्मिधैर्भक्तैः स्कन्दां संस्तुतवान् ऋषिम्। ॐ श्रीरमणार्पणमस्तु। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।